Okay, so let's do a simple walk cycle, a simple animation cycle, which is a walk. So right now I am using the plate from last week. This is the skinning and rigging plate. So as you can see, still have those test animations there. So now let's prepare this file for a walk cycle. So first thing that I will do is, of course, I'm going to go to File and I'll choose Save As, and then I will place it in my project folder. And there's the plate 2. I will rename this into plate 3. Then I'll just use Save, or sorry, Save As. The next thing, um, I will select all of these animation controls and bones, so all of them, and look if there are keyframes uh, within them. Clearly there are, and then I will type in here in my range slider. Let's say I'll go for 300 or 200. Let's go for 300. So this means this is a total of 300 frames, and I am checking if all of the keyframes are present until 300. Right now, it is only until here. Okay, so I will now be deleting these test animations so that when I do the walk animation, it will only be, there will be no animation frames. No, there will be no other animation frames, but just the walk cycle. So again, I'll just select this to make sure, and then I will start deleting all of this. So I'll just right click, I'll choose delete, and then right click, choose delete. So it starts, right? Now it starts to remove those keyframes and then delete. Okay, so in our last test animation, we have used, let's say, a starting pose, right? So this is the last frame, the starting pose. I will also delete that. Delete. Okay. So now I do not have any more animations. Next thing, let us go to our reference. Um, Here is our reference. This is a walk cycle from Animation Survival Kit. It is a 17 frame half walk cycle. Remember, this is just half of it. The left leg is from behind and then it's going to the front. So that is just half of the cycle. It's just one step. The second step will make it whole, meaning after the left leg went to the front, the remaining half will be this, the right leg going back to the front, so that it will become a whole walk cycle. Okay, now this half cycle or a walk cycle is usually composed of 5 poses. And these are the 5 poses here, right? If you will look at it, technically it is only 4 poses because the contact pose are a bit similar. It's just changing or switching arms and legs. Now also in this reference, as you can see, the keyframes are typed in big or bigger in character. So keyframes 1, 5, 9, 13, and 17 are where the key poses are going to be. And then the in-between frames, 2, 3, 4, or there are 3 frames in between each keyframe. These are the ones that are going to be generated by Maya. Okay, so it is the software that's going to generate this. So we are supposed to properly position the key poses in these keyframes. Okay, so now let's start. I'll go back to Maya, and then from here I will just set my frame range to 17 frames for now. And then the next thing that I will do is, of course, we will need a starting pose. Just in case we need to reset the posing of the character so that we don't have to delete frames anymore. Okay, so this is what I will do. I will set the start of the frame range to 0. This will give me access to frame 0 here, right? So the next thing that I will do now is I am on frame 0, currently selecting it. I will select this controls and then I will press S so that there is going to be a keyframe, a starting pose keyframe here at frame 0. Okay, next, I will now go to my frame number 1. Now, I have my frame number 1 selected so that I will start the key pose or keyframe 1. Then I will set my frame range to 1. This is mainly to make sure I do not select the key pose keyframe, or sorry, the starting pose keyframe, so that I will keep my reset pose safely hidden there. Okay. So now I am now I am frame number 1. Let's start making a keyframe. So let us look at our character. So the character is facing this direction, going to the right of the screen. So what I will do instead is I'm going to switch to the side view, and then I'm going to create a view. No, I'm going to create a view that is aligned to this view. So I will just go to my panels, orthographic, new, and I will choose left so that a new camera is going to be created, and this camera is looking at this position where the character is or looking at the right of the screen. Okay, and then I'll select this camera, and then I will just press Control H to hide it so that we don't accidentally select the camera also. Next, after that, let us start posing the character. So I am in frame 1. Let's check the pose. Right foot forward, it is straight and extended. In contact is the heel. The other foot, left foot or left leg, is on a tiptoe stance and it is slightly bent. So let's do this. I will select this one, W, extend it forward. So it's on the ground line right now. Extending it allows me to bend this down. Okay. Sorry, bend it, bring it down. So again, this should be straight. I'll just press E, rotate it. I can use W to push this back a bit. And then this one I will raise up. E there. I'll just rotate a little bit. There. Let's drag this a little to straighten the foot. There, a little forward and backward dragging. Then I'll just rotate this, tilting it forward a little, because as we can see, the body is slightly tilted forward here. There. And then the next is I'm going here, W, at the front view, arranging the position of the foot because it may look okay at the side, but you also have to check your front view. There. Okay, so next thing is let's arrange immediately these arms so that they go in straight like this. There, looking normal. And then I'll drag this to the back. Oops, wrong hands. This one to be dragged at the back, the right arm, and then the other arm to be dragged to the front. Let's drag it down a bit. There. Okay. Let's say that's the arms and legs position initially on this walk cycle. Just making sure it's in contact with the ground. There. Leg is straight. Next is the body. When we say um, the body, meaning while we are walking, our body is also twisting. So this is going to twist towards this direction, right? Because the right leg is going in front or in front. So let's twist it a little like that. And then next is the chest. The chest is also going to be twisted, let's say, in favor of this arm or shoulder because it is the one extending in front. So let's twist it within that direction. There. So allowing the head to be still looking straight forward. There it is. So that's going to be our starting key pose. So now for the key pose to be recorded or registered, I'll just select all of these controls and then I will press S, making sure I am on frame 1. I'll press S. There. So now we have a keyframe. Okay. Next is this. As you can see in our reference, there is or there are guidelines. The ground line and then the headline. The ground line is where the foot is stepping on and it is leveled, and then the headline indicates if the body is going up and down, because as you can see the head is passing through the headline. In this 3D, or in case of this 3D, we will just create a simple narrow thin box that will allow us almost like a meter stick. It's not standing up. Let me just go to my move tool, delete that. Let me just make it again. So this is going to be the box. There, slightly thicken it. And then I will just make sure it's at the center of the 3D space. Okay. And then I will set it now as let's say this is going to be our guideline. The grid itself, that's going to be our ground line, but we will use this as our headline. There. So the headline is where the head is going to be touching it. So now it is leveled to that. Now remember, you don't need to animate this. This is just going to remain where it is. Okay, so we don't need to animate that. We will be measuring the head animation for that, or the body's animation as the head passes through it. Okay, next. So after we have this, the next thing that we will do now is let us create the next keyframe. The next keyframe in a usual straightforward animation approach, you will be doing frame number 5. Yeah, that will be the next keyframe. But you can also do it this way. You can go directly to frame 17, right? Because if you're going to frame 5, keyframe 5, that means you are generating through the software these three in-betweens, which is okay. But look at it carefully. If you are going to frame 17, you will also be generating from this in-betweens, but up to this number of in-betweens, and it will include the other keyframes. We will just be adjusting the poses a little bit. So you can do that actually, since you're doing it in 3D. You can generate, or sorry, you can do the extreme or the start and end pose that you have here, and then have these generated and adjusted later on. So let's try that. So instead of going to, let's say, frame number 5, I will go from frame number 1. I'll go to frame 17. Now that I'm in frame 17, the next thing that I will do is I will start posing the character. So if I'm going to pose the character, frame 17 only requires me to switch the arms. The body is still the same angle, the head is still the same level, so I only need to switch the arms and the legs. So let's do that. I can select this, and then I can here, oops, sorry, I can just drag it here, level it a little bit, rotate it down, and also adjust the tiptoeing. Let's just move it back a bit here. See, it's almost mirroring the other foot there. W, oops, W for this, oops, here, there. Oops. Oh. Next is this one. Let's just rotate them carefully, snapping it down. There. So legs are straight and forward. Let's check the front view. So here, leg twisted a bit out. Uh-huh. So that's fine. Let's position that out a bit. There. And then this. Then let's go for the arms or hands. Let me just drag this here, and I'll drag it. Let me drag this here. Oops, sorry. You can see the rig reacts. Almost gives a whole body reaction. There. Next is I'll just drag this back inwards because I forgot that I will still be twisting this. So that's fine. There. Then the body twist. So this time we should be favoring this leg. So I'll just twist it towards that. There. The opening happens. And then the shoulder, of course. I'll just rotate it along here to keep the head looking straight and forward. There. So now we have frame 17 working accordingly. The leg, or I mean the head is still leveled. So here I'll just select all of this. Now, making sure that my um, all my character controls are selected. And then on frame 17, I'll just press S. And there it is. So if I'm going to play this, just making sure in my animation settings here, in the playback options, I am at 24 FPS by 1. I'll just save that. And then I'll just play. And as you can see, it is now switching legs and arms. The head is still leveled. The body, is twisting also accordingly. So now, let's see if we have found or if it has generated the other poses. So I'll go to frame number 9. So that's it. That is how you work your um, cycles. You go for your end-to-end frames, for example, and then you go here, start at the middle. So if I'm going to frame number 9, there. So now it will be a lot easier to work, to work on it. So frame number 9, the body is slightly still tilted forward. Shows still the same, but we need to straighten one leg, which is the right leg. So here, W, this, yeah, I'll straighten this by E. And then here, let me just drag that. Oops, let me flatten the foot. There. Then I will just drag it up here, W, raise it up so that it will straighten. And as I straighten that up, oops, sorry. As I straighten that up, let me go back to my panels, orthographic, left. Yeah. So as I've straightened that up, as you can see here, it has passed through the head level. That's fine. Because as per the reference, yes, it will pass through there. Next is the other leg to be formed or to be doing a figure 4. So here, let me just do a figure 4. Here, there. Oops, sorry. This one, there. So if you still have skinning issues, I advise that you fix this You fix your skinning issues that you will find in your um, procedure of, or that you will find while you're doing your walk cycles. So here it is, and then here, fine. Okay, I do not need to touch the body twist, so it's going to look natural. And then the hands, just making sure it's not overlapping the body or not getting into any body part. It's also fine. Okay, now that's the frame number 9. I will just select all of my body controls once more, make sure I am on frame number 9, and press S. Now let's check. If I'm going to play the animation, there it is, playing it. So there's the up pose. So the up pose actually makes it appear, or it adds that vibrance to the walk. No? Not just, for example, if I'm going to cut this, this is just how a walk looks like without the ups and downs. So adding that, oops, sorry, pasting that there, right? Okay. So next now, since that you have your end-to-end key poses and you have your middle pose, the passing pose, now you can easily choose, or you can choose any key poses to do next. Meaning you don't have to do this in any, you don't have to do this an in order. No, all you need to do is have this middle pose finish, which you have done. Now you can either work with frame 13 or frame number 5. But let's say I'll work with frame number 5. I'll go down here. I'll select all of this. Keyframes are showing. Now I will go to frame number 5. And then I'll go back to my side view. And then I will start doing the down pose. So it is clear. The down pose is a pose that is lower than the headline. So I'll just drag this down, lower line here. And then here, I will just start flattening it down. Rotate, W prompt. And then down here, W. Oops, let me just drag that down straight. And then just rotate it a little bit for the angle. Then drag it down a bit more. So the body. Next is the arms. The arms are swinging wider when you are on a down pose, but not too wide. Let's just, oops, let's just push it back a little there. And I'll do the same, the other arm here. So I'll just push it up so I can drag it forward a little bit. So it's going to appear wider there. So all the body twist, I don't need to do that anymore because it is twisting already. So I'll just select all again, selecting all. I'm on the fifth frame, press S. So there's the down pose. So it went down. So it went down, it went up in the passing pose. And now we're going for frame number 13, which is going to be the up pose. It is going to be the highest point of the cycle also. So what I will do next is I will just drag this up. So because the body or the hip control is here, I can easily just drag it go up here to make the tiptoe. I can also drag this up a little bit and rotate it a little so that it tiptoes a bit more if you would be required of that. And then I can drag this and just to make sure it's the highest point there. It is extending, the right foot is extending or really straight up. So the arms are just looking fine, as you can see. The arm position, the knee position, or the left knee position is also looking fine. And that's it. I'll just select this, press S, and there we go. That is our 13, keyframe 13 or the up pose. Now I'll just test and play this. So the walk is appearing fine right now. Let's go to the other frame. So there it is. That's half of it. But as I've said, this is just half of the cycle. You are required for a whole cycle. No, you are required to do the whole cycle, and that's going to be the challenge. Doing a whole animation cycle. So again, the challenge is for you now to create the other half of the cycle so that it will be complete. And just like this, I have created a full cycle walk with the character. It is, if I am going to select all of the controls now, it has all of this there. Now it has this. Okay. So it has all of the keyframes needed. Now, as you can see, all of these keyframes have in-betweens with them. Now, in doing, let me give you a hint. In doing the cycles, I suggest you count it properly. For example, this is the half cycle that we did together. Right foot front to left foot front. That's the half cycle, first cycle within it. It ends in frame 17. So this means if I am going here, frame 17 is also the contact pose, which is the left foot front. That's frame 17. And then from frame 17, which is the left foot front now, going to the right foot front, you just repeat the steps. You can either just copy paste contact 33, which is going to be the same as frame 1, contact 1, right? Because it's going to return to the right foot front cycle, right? There. So now from here, you will be able to see, let me just adjust this. You will be able to see what's the keyframe number, right? Yeah. So let's say cycle 1, or I'll just add this. This is your first step. And then the second cycle here is going to be your second step, right? So that's how you can compute this. Okay, now let's say if I want, I can copy this. Can copy it here. Let's say I want to do a third step. This is just a guide for me, okay? And I'm just showing you. Now let's say the third step, of course, will start from this number, 33. So if I type in here, 33, there. So it automatically adjusts. So that's going to be the down pose, 37, 41 pass pose, 45, and 49, and so on if I need another step. Okay, pero for you, you are to just complete a two-step cycle. So that's actually the complete cycle of animation for the walk. As you can see here, when I play it, it is constant or continuously just looping. But of course, the animation is limited to 33 frames. So it appears to be looping continuously. Okay, um, I can stop this. I can also hide the head here, the headline, Control H, so that when I view it once more, I can play. I can also hide the bones there. So here is my walk cycle. So again, the challenge is for you to do um, a whole cycle. Okay, so I'll see you in the next lesson.